Good afternoon, everyone, and I hope you've had a blessed and prosperous weekend. Today we will be having two special guests on today that I know, as always, we have dynamite guest speakers, and today will be no different. It will actually be exceptionally better because it gets better each time. My producer Amnon will be on in a minute. But today's guest, we have a special guest that I want to talk to, and I want her to share with you all the conversation about transformational travel retreats. And she's none other than Catherine Kelly, PhD, psychologist, author, and professional speaker. Catherine, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad to have you on today. I've been looking forward to this conversation. So I'm glad to have you here. I know the audience is gonna love what you have to share with them today and myself. Before I get started, I do want to introduce my producer Amnon. He'll be with us. Amnon, how you
Hello.
doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
All right, and Amnon, he actually set up the Skype and got everything situated before we got started. So I want to jump right on in today, Catherine. I know you and I have kind of talked a little bit over probably the past month or two, about these travel retreats. But before we get into that, I want you to tell the audience a little bit about you, you as a psychologist, you as an author, you as a professional speaker. Who is Catherine Kelly?
Okay, great. Thanks, Terrence. So, I'm a holistic health psychologist. So, I've been trained traditionally, but I've also done a lot of my training in health environments for the most part. And so when I was a professor at the medical school here at Wake Forest University, have worked teaching medical students, residents, have worked with doing lots of different health related things. But when I went into private practice, one of the things that I did was really start developing my own holistic health model, which is really what really all of my work is based on. And I know you mentioned the transformational travel. And even that I base on that framework of my holistic health model, which you can go to my website at www.drcatherinetkelly.com to see it. It's called the Soul Health Model. And excuse me, that model basically, like I said, creates the blueprint for everything. Um, in my 27 plus years of doing therapy work, I've realized that there are really 10 branches of what I call the human condition that pretty much everybody has to balance out. And I developed this model based on a tree, and every branch is one of those branches that I mentioned. But really, what I do is I help people create a blueprint for their own lives so that they can experience what I call radiant living. Because all of us have times in our lives where we feel wilty or uncomfortable with what's going on. But really, it's that self empowerment, it's that learning how to move forward in your own way, to design your life in a radiant way that really I think is the most beautiful thing that human beings can do. And so whether it is doing therapy work, whether it's doing workshops, whether it's doing retreats, whether it's doing these transformational travel workshops and retreats, really I build in my model into everything that I do. So there's a framework that I use with really pretty much any aspect of working with clients or workshop participants.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you, the the soul health model. That's the basis for everything that you do. Um, Evolved around the soul health model.
Yes, pretty
The
much.
the Even the book that you have called Soul Health. Can you talk to us about that a little bit and how that
Yes.
how that revolves around the soul health model? Uh,
Yes, absolutely. So Soul Health, Aligning with Spirit for Radiant Living is the book that basically describes this model. And it is the third book I started, the first one I finished in raising my
Catherine, your sound is got a little bit lower. Can you adjust
uh
your headphone real quick?
let's see. How's that?
It's
Is that better?
not any better.
Okay. I'll keep trying. How's
Still
that?
not, still not better.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that.
Just
How's
keep. I mean,
that?
yeah. I mean, just I can hear you some, but not like when we first started.
Okay. There must be a loose wire somewhere. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay, great.
All right,
Okay.
now there you go. You're back.
Perfect. Okay. So, yes, my book, Soul Health, Aligning with Spirit for Radiant Living, is basically a description of the model, and
Yeah.
it gives you basically a step-by-step process for how to create your radiant life. And like I said, it's the third book I started, first one I finished, and I'm really excited because I'm going back now and working on other books that I had started that all have to do with different aspects of really kind of getting your life together in a way that you can create radiance. So, yes, this was sort of the launch. That book, that first book, Soul Health, was the launch, but it really is the basis and foundation of pretty much everything I do. So in some ways, it made more sense for me to do that one first, and so I lay that model out for every, like I said, class, workshop, retreat, transformational travel experience, and it just, for me, it has really created that blueprint for folks.
Okay. So, so from what I'm hearing, you created the book. You wrote the book first, and then you created uh, s- the soul travel retreats or the transformational travel retreats. You started that
Yes.
after doing the book.
Yes, it was a
So,
natural, basically extension of the work I already do, doing classes, workshops, individual work, group work. And I have gone on several of my own transformational travel retreats for my own self development. And I kept having people say that they wanted to have me create some of these trips for them because I would go to all these really cool and amazing sacred spaces and have these wonderful experiences. And it just made sense for me to start creating um, specialized trips depending on the topic that matched these sites that I take people to help them develop. And really, I use the word soul evolution a lot. We're pretty much here to evolve. But really, we evolve at the deepest level, which is our soul. And
Captain,
so,
can you
all of
adjust
these.
that microphone again? You kind of
How's that? Is that better?
not not better, but I can still hear you. Uh,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm wondering if it's the microphone or if we have a strange connection because
no.
I'm
I mean, I
not
can
really
hear you,
sure.
but it gets lower, um,
Hmm.
and then it kind of comes back. But don't stop talking. I can still hear you. It's
Okay.
just not as you're just
Okay.
not as loud as you were.
All right. Well, we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying.
But I do want
So,
you to still to go right ahead.
yeah, so these transformational travel topics, what I've done is I've again, I've traveled a fair bit, and so there are several places not only around the country but around the world that are perfect situations for bringing people to and having them do their own transformational work. So, in essence, one of the things that I'm doing is rescheduling a trip that I basically had scheduled this year, and then I had some things come up and I had to reschedule it. But I have one that's called Reclaim Your Greatness, and it's basically taking folks to the Sedona, Arizona area, the Grand Canyon, and then also there's an extension to it that there's a wonderful, wonderful resort up in St. George, Utah. And the Sedona area, for those of you who have been there or those of you who want to go there, Sedona is a fantastic place to go to kind of stir up stuff that's been stuck for a while. There's some energy sources
Captain,
there that,
you're fading fast.
okay, I
You're
don't know what else
fading
to do
fast.
here. Yeah, I'm not sure
Flick
it's
flick the microphone. Flick it.
okay. How's that?
It's
No.
still the same.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't know if there's a loose wire in here or what,
Uh,
but any
uh,
better?
not any better.
Okay.
How
So
So
about
what I
how about if you hit it like over the ear, just kind of tap it a little bit.
Okay, what I'm wondering is, I wonder if you could hear me better if I just unplugged it and spoke
That's
let's
music.
very possible.
let's
But
try that.
go ahead and try it.
All right, I'm going to unplug right now.
Is it a USB?
better?
Actually, no.
Okay. We were hoping. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on then. Do you want me to plug back in?
Yeah, probably. Now there's no sound.
Any better now?
Keep going.
I can hear you a little bit.
Okay, well, sounds like this is probably the roughest interview I've ever done, so I'm not sure what this is trying to tell us.
I can mildly hear you, but I can't.
Keep going.
But it's not really at the normal level. That it's a little lower than normal.
Okay, huh.
Let me.
Well, I don't know if I can just hold the mic closer. I'm not sure if that helps at all.
No, that's. I don't know if you can make the adjustment or we. Let me see but just try it again. Otherwise, we're gonna probably have to probably just have to change
like
the interview.
Yeah, universe is not cooperating.
Well, we're really not. We're not getting the sound. So what I'm gonna have to, what I will have to do is probably reschedule another interview to where we could. I guess we can probably Skype in a little earlier and test the microphones before we come on. Will we be able to do that? Maybe schedule another time.
Yeah, this didn't. It's odd because I've never had problems with this earpiece, but
Now,
I'll test it out.
Well, now I hear you well. Yeah, I mean I hear you well now. So if you want to if we want to try to keep going, if you could tell us a little bit about how to get you for your travel retreat, just in case you go out again and while we got you, tell us how we can get in touch with you for travel retreats or your services.
Sure, best way to get a hold of me for any of my services.
No, it's back down. Let's try something. Are you on a PC?
I am.
Okay, in Skype, click on Tools.
Okay.
Options.
Got it.
Audio settings.
Okay.
And you see underneath the microphone there's a checkbox. Is it checked or is it unchecked?
It's checked.
Uncheck it.
Okay.
Move the ball all the way to the right.
Okay. It's all the way to the right.
You see, it doesn't make any difference. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Oh, now it's loud.
It's loud again.
Yeah, now it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, the best way to reach me is to go straight to my website, which is www.drcatherinetkelly.com, and you can look through all of the things that I do. We're getting ready to put to update everything for next year, including workshops and also the transformational travel journeys I'm going to be doing for at least the first part of the year. And then also one of the things I'm going to be doing is launching an online discussion group, and we're getting all the details for that together as well. But yeah, anybody who's interested in trying to join me on one of the transformational travel journeys, they can keep looking back on my website, hoping to have that updated in the next month or so for basically at least the first 6 months of things that I'll be offering.
All right, but look, Captain, while I still got you and your sound quality is excellent, tell us a little bit more about that travel retreats, how you set those travel retreats up all around the world. You all go different places depending on what the participants are looking for and what you had to offer. How does that work? Yeah,
basically what I've done is I've created I kind of listen to hear what people are working on or a theme of something that a group of folks are working on. And then basically I find a place around the country or around the world that matches the opportunities to work on those things. So for instance, I started talking about our Sedona trip, and Sedona, the energies in Sedona, Arizona are really wonderful for kind of stirring up what we are stuck in. And so there's several different activities that I take people through in order to release and help them identify what it
You done went out on me again. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, and so with Sedona, again, it's such a wonderful place to stir up and loosen up some of the energies where, or the things that we get stuck in. And then I take people also to the Grand Canyon, where to me the Grand Canyon is one of the most wonderful areas of the country. But it has the perfect energy for learning how to release and learning how to receive what it is that you really want in life. And so those two areas are just really fabulous. And like I said, the topic, the title of that journey is called Reclaim Your Greatness. And I think a lot of times we just get stuck and get fearful and don't let ourselves move forward. And so taking people away from their home environment where I think it's harder to process information and taking them into these really amazing and magnificent areas, it's very inspirational, and it allows people to do work in a much deeper and more vast kind of way, so that when they return from the journey, they're feeling really like they've done some major work in a short period of time. So that's one example. And then I have a trip to Peru that I'll be leading next year as well, that I call Awakened, Alive, and Awestruck in the Andes. And again, taking people to the sacred spaces, but having them do a whole lot of transformational work for their own consciousness raising and breaking through fears, breaking through things that are holding them back. So lots of different options, but my main mission is to take people to amazing and incredible places and create amazing and incredible experiences to help them in their personal development. I hope that helps you understand that a little bit more.
It do, but let me ask you this before you get, from a business standpoint, are they repeat clients that go on those different retreats? Do you have the same clients that go on those retreats, or, I mean, how does that work?
It's a mix. Yeah, it's really a mix. And I have people who are waiting to go on the Peru trip, so I have a waiting list for once I launch some of them. But it's really a mix depending on. There are some ongoing people. There are some people who come to my my discussion groups here and then join workshops or retreats or whatever I offer. So you kind of develop a bit of a following over time, but at the same time, there are always new people who want to join, and it just works out. It just works out that you have a wonderful group.
All right, well, Catherine, listen, that's something that I'm trying to put in place here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So,
Yes.
and I want to continue to follow you, and actually, I want to follow that business model. So, so we'll still follow up. But again, I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for sharing that. Again, can you tell people how to get in how to get in contact with you through social media just before we're closing?
Absolutely. In fact, all of my social media links are on the homepage of my website, which is www.drcatherinetkelly.com. And over on the left-hand side of the screen are all of the links to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to Instagram, to really all of the social media, my professional Facebook page. And you can also sign up for my newsletter straight from my homepage of my website, so that you will get updated information, and also get every month or every other month you'll get an article of some information that will help you, again, continue your individual journey.
Okay, and one other question. Now, you are in what, Winston-Salem or Greensboro?
Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, again, I appreciate you for coming on and for sharing that with us. I definitely want to follow up with you for my own personal usage. But again, thanks, and have a safe trip. Safe trips. And
thank you very much, and I
be
appreciate you having me on the show.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, and I want to continue on. First of all, I want to let the audience know that you can call into the show today. You can call in at 919-518-9773. Our next guest on this evening is another exceptional person that I've recently met at a couple of networking mixers, I would call them. She's none other than Kimberly Winborn. Kimberly, how you doing?
I'm great.
Can
Thank
I call
you.
you Kim?
That's fine. Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad to have you with us today.
Glad to be here.
When I saw you last, were we at it was a networking mixer?
Yes, we were at the Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership. It wasn't. It was a. I'm sorry. We were at the Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership event that featured two leadership experts, Dr. Sandra Williams as well as Hugh Ballou. So that's where we met. It was a pleasure.
And since then, I think we've kind of talked a little bit about what you do. So can you just let the audience know who you are and what you do? I'm about to call you a financial expert, but you call yourself a financial fitness guru.
Well, I do call myself a financial expert or financial representative. I do represent holistic financial fitness, however, so you won't be completely off in saying that. Yes, so I am. I wear a few hats. One of the main hats that I wear, like we just spoke about, is a financial representative, but also I focus on leadership development. So financial development as well as leadership development. I work with a variety of business professionals, as well as companies, small business companies, in order to help get them started, especially get that boost financially to be able to do the things necessary to be able to have a successful foundation for their businesses. But I also do that for the individual families, individual singles as well, as coaching to be able to get them as well on the right path, including debt elimination, the whole package, credit repair. I do consulting in that area. So it's like I said, a holistic approach to financial empowerment. And so that's one of the hats that I wear. Another hat that I wear, which all ties in with that, is creating what you came to, which is workshops and seminars and things of the such, in order to bring business professionals together to get that information to fuel their businesses. So to get the leadership principles, financial principles to fuel their businesses, because what we found is that a lot of people have been in the industry but are stuck. And so if we could find an outlet and the resources in order to get them to the next level, that's our mission. And I do that through Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership, which you're a part of. You came to our meeting. And then also through Visionary Networking Circle. As you mentioned, my company is Design Evolution Group, and we work in conjunction with those two networking and leadership groups.
So let me back you up a little bit to you are the CEO of Design Evolution Group.
Yes.
You are also the co-founder of Visionary Networking Circle.
Yes.
And you are affiliated with the what's the other group?
Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership.
And that's Ryan Ray.
Yes, I'm in partnership with Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership, and have I would say played an integral role. There's a group of us who have come together to get the help with the foundation, and it really helped to get Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership. We've I won't say helped, I would say assisted, because it was a foundation. There was a foundation of excellence there from the start. However, we were able to collaborate and come together in our different areas of expertise in order to make it even better. So that's the third group, Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership.
Okay. So how would a person like myself be able to collaborate with you all on such ventures like you guys have collaborated on? How could I become a part of that circle, that inner circle? Rub elbows with people like yourselves.
Well, one thing for sure is attending the events. We offer so many events and opportunities, not only to get the business development information through Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership and Visionary Networking Circle, but to also make wonderful collaborative social networking as well as business professional networking relationships. And so coming to the events is number one. Coming to the events, you're able to get a personal connection from one of us with someone else there. Because, I mean, a lot of times we all know a lot of people, but because of the fact we know a lot of people, we don't know exactly who to trust in every situation. But if you have someone that is going to bat for you and knows about you and has worked with you and is willing and able to connect you with the right source or the right resource that will help you get you to the next level through the spirit of collaboration, then that's what we provide. So come to the events is number one. Definitely follow us so you can see what we're doing. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're also on Twitter. And I'll give out those because I have a couple of groups, so I'll give those out later. So definitely connect with us through those social media portals. And then also we collect emails and things like that to keep people in the know through email portals. So I hope that answered your question well. There's several different ways to be able to do that.
It does. Again, we have Kimberly Winborn. She's the CEO of Design Evolution Group. She's the co-founder of Visionary Networking Circle. She's also a financial fitness, wellness, repair person. She also does debt elimination. She helps with credit repair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this. You are in collaboration in 3 different groups. Were you ever an employee for anyone, or have you always been an entrepreneur? Mm-hmm. Have you been an
That's a good question. I think I've always been an entrepreneur since a young age, but yes, I was an employee for a short amount of time. Once I left college, I graduated from the illustrious Elizabeth City State University a few years back, and from there, I received my BA in English Communications, and I did a little work in communications for a little while, and then in 2002 is when I started my business. So I'm going almost into my 15th year as an entrepreneur. So I have not, I did take a stint for about 3 months, about 4 years ago, and worked a job in order to get some development, some professional development. However, I still worked as a self-employed person during that time. So I've been a business owner almost 15 years.
So let me ask you this, and the audience might be curious about this too. What mindset do you see in yourself and others like yourself, particularly, I guess, the people that you collaborate with that also have that entrepreneurial mindset? What would be the difference in your mindset and opposed to an employee, somebody who worked for somebody else's mindset?
I would say there's a lot that goes into being self-employed. And one of the main things I have to say is having an investment mindset. There's a lot that you have to put into it up front financially. And so what, I like to tell employees is, and this is, you hear from a lot of the personal development gurus. I believe one of the main ones I think about right now is Jim Rohn. You make from 9 to 5, you make a living, and from 5 to 9, you make a life. So you take that money that you're making as an employee and then use it to build your dreams that you go after once you get off of work. And so that's the mindset that a lot of people who are stuck in the employee sort of mindset don't get. And so one of the things that we like to do is to provide that comfort through education and information. Provide that leadership. That's also another mindset that you have to have, but it doesn't come through osmosis. We definitely, I have been an avid reader since I was a kid, but I wasn't always reading personal development books. And I'm gonna, the last woman you had on here was talking about personal development. It's so important. And that is also one of the things a lot of times as an employee, the job has taken on so much of our day that we just come home and we find comfort in relaxing in front of the television. And one of the things, when you have an investment mindset or a business owner's mindset, that's one of the things that you put to the side. So that investment mindset, that entrepreneurship mindset, and then faith, believing in yourself. And it's not something that you're going to find, honestly, watching some of these television shows and the news all evening. So I think that answers the question. That's probably the number one thing, that investment mindset and personal development, investing in yourself.
Okay. So I think I heard you say that while in college, after college, there was a short stint of where you did work for someone else as an employee. A short stint. You didn't say it was long. But so you transitioned from college to, like I said, you was a short-term employee, and then you went into entrepreneurship. So for over, I guess, the last 15 years, that's been your mindset. But going back, even before college, to, I guess, school and growing up, did you have mentors or people that you looked up to that were entrepreneurs? I mean, who did you see? Who did you model? What were you reading back then that got you in the mindset that you knew after college you basically wanted to work for yourself?
I would say my grandfather and my grandmother always had businesses. My grandmother is like in what's called Little Washington, North Carolina. Okay. She had she's a seamstress. And so she had a business where she would make everybody's prom dresses and tailor people's suits, and just, everybody knew Carrie Wilson, Jenny, in Washington, North Carolina. And so, I would say my grandmother instilled that in me. And then also my grandfather, he was a landscaper. He had his own business, and he would always be out cutting people's grass, traveling. He had people, on contract basically pretty much my whole life. And so from there, we got that foundation. And at a very early age, I knew I wanted to have my own business. I actually said I wanted to have a business with my big brother because I really looked up to him. So, yeah, from a very early age, I would say those are my influences. And then my mother, she was not self-employed at the time, and she did not have a business, but she had a dream. And my mother instilled a dream in all of us. My sister, my brother, and I are all business owners or independent contractors. And I'm very proud to say that my mother was such an inspiration in our lives. So I would say it's kind of a compilation of those three people, a combination of those three people. So I just... I would say I started with, like most little girls, with the babysitting, little babysitting job. And then, from there, I knew when I got out of school that I wanted to have a business. And I just kept holding on to that dream that my mom instilled in us. And so the books that I was reading back then were not personal development books other than, the Bible. The books that I was reading back then were like mysteries and, things like that. And I did love me some John Grisham, though, because I wanted to be an attorney. And John Grisham novels are, he's an attorney, and a lot of those are those types of stories. So I was always intrigued by books. I always wanted to learn, and I always wanted to develop to another level in my thinking. I got more into personal development, though, as an adult, not necessarily as a child. So I think that answers your question.
You do. Again, anyone that want to call into the show, feel free to call in at 919-518-9773. We do have Kimberly Winborn. She's an entrepreneur. She's the CEO of Design Evolution Group. She's in partnership and collaborations with several other business leaders in the community, and we'll speak about them as we go forward.
Okay.
I want to back up again to, I heard you say the Bible when we were talking about personal development. Take me there to when you talk about the Bible and personal development and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Now, how do you tie those together? I guess that's the basis.
Yes, well,
and faith, I guess.
Faith is the number one. As an entrepreneur, you definitely what really fuels you and gets you to the next level of success is knowing where your help is going to come from in the end. And so a lot of times, people have a crab in a barrel kind of mindset when it comes to to the various industries, being self-employed. And when we all understand that if we work together, what is for me is mine alone, and what is for you is yours alone. So if we work together, then we'll get to the next level together and faster. And so faith has been a great thing for me. Believing in myself, knowing that I am going to be okay in the end every day, in spite of, has been very instrumental, I would say, in my success as a business owner. Because you do hear a lot of people going back to working for someone else after a year or two, and giving up. But when you have that foundation, and you know that that everything is going to be okay, that there's no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And so, knowing that, I am able to go out, I've been able to go out this past 15 years and make relative connections and be successful in the things that, God has for me. And so, yes, I do have a very big foundation in my belief there. Definitely. I know that was one question. What was the other question?
Well, you kind of tied it all together. When you talked about the Bible, when you said the Bible, and when you were talking about personal development in becoming an entrepreneur, yes, or as an adult, you said you really hadn't looked at personal development until then, and you said, except for the Bible. So that lets me know that you see the Bible as a personal development source.
I do.
But also, you spoke about faith. So that belief system, it gives you the strength and the okay to know that who got your back.
Exactly. And let me expand on that. When it comes to personal development, life is about principles. Life is really about principles, and the Bible is a principle-based book. And so life being about principles, personal development also, if you read, these different personal development gurus, John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar, Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn, just so many. I could keep going on. Les Brown, Brendan Burchard. All of this is principle-based living. And so, a lot of them also quote the Bible. And so I didn't have all of those guys growing up. I didn't have them in my back pocket, but I did have the word. And that's what I did lean on. So you're right. But personal development has been able to kind of take it to another level for me in understanding and in the corporate world, in the business world, and things like that. And then also being able to be even more relative or even more relational, being able to give somebody something else that is a source of that same inspiration, but through another voice, kind of a third party introduction to the word. And so I love it. I live and breathe now personal development. I believe we need it to take the next step into leadership. It's helped in my coaching. When I do my financial coaching, being able to have that information. And then back to reading, one of the things that I read by Jim Rohn here, maybe in the past 2 or 3 years, that really resonated with me as a person who always was a reader and knew that was going to be influential to or intricate into needing to be able to choose words, relate to people, talk to people, and things like that, was that if you want the thing on the higher shelf, if you want the thing on the top shelf, then you stand on the books that you read. So reading is important. Reading is so important. We got to pick up a book and read at least 10 pages a day, 15 minutes a day. Start there. So many people say they don't have time to read. Well, no, that's not true. You have time. Are you implementing the principle of discipline in order to do the things that you need to do to get to the things on the top shelf? Because we all want it. So I just wanted to add to that.
So you
got a comedian in here.
So you've made personal development, but let me ask you this: when you've made reading books a priority over, like you said, people say they don't have time, but I guess you have to make it a priority. You have to make time for it. So
you do.
From the way it sounds, you've implemented that into your daily walk.
Yes.
Reading.
Yes.
Like I said, whether it's 10 or 15 pages a day or a book a week or
Mm-hmm.
what have you, you're reading. You're putting that before TV,
Yes.
before Scandal, before Power, before
For a lot. Yes.
Basketball Wives, or any of those TV shows that people get caught up in
Mm-hmm.
when they could be reading a book instead of watching, I call it that junk food for the mind. They could be developing their mindset spiritually and financially.
Right.
It is-
And I don't judge anyone because, like as they say, you don't know what you don't know, and a lot of people haven't been introduced to that information that books take you to the next level. It just is something that we have to we're subject to get through school. But when you understand the power and you're educated on the power of it, then you look at it in a different way. And so, I'm not saying any of that in judgment. I'm saying that as a call of arms in a sense, like if you want to be empowered and you want to go to the next level, it's so possible for everybody. Nobody's more special than the next person. It's just that some of us, some people have decided to take the information given to them, seek further, like Warren Buffett, for instance, billionaire extraordinaire. A lot of people know him. And, he says that's the biggest investment you can make is in yourself. And, reading is fundamental to that. So it's not a judgment. It's just a call to arms. You want to go to the next level, begin reading.
So let me ask you too, what are some of the other investments that you've made in yourself that have helped take you to the next level when it comes to, part of it is mindset development, but what are some of the other things that you've done outside of reading, some other steps that you've taken to develop you and take you to the next level?
Well, I would say one of the main things is association has been key. Who are you associating with? They say that you are the result or the culmination or the, of the top 5 people that you're hanging around financially, professionally, spiritually, so many different, areas. And so who are the top 5 people that you're hanging around? So that's something I thought about. And like I said, none of it is in judgment. But if I wanted to go to another level, I need to be around people that are even if they're 2 steps ahead of me, I'd rather be 2 steps further than 5 steps behind. So association has been major for me. I don't ever tell anybody to cut anybody off, but definitely seek God in the relationships that you should be having. And then also do your studying. If there's something that you want to grow in, study people that you can get linked to in order to grow in their area and associate with them. So you always want to associate with people who are a little bit further along than you, if not much further along with you, to get to the next level. So that's one of the things that I would say I invested in, being sure that the associations that I made or that I continue further and spent a lot of time with were people who were going to be able to take me to the next level that I wanted to go. That has been such a blessing. Especially in my spiritual walk. One of the ones here recently who is going to be, I'm so honored to be beside, 2 of them actually, I'm so honored to be beside at the Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership Conference on November 3rd is Hugh Ballou, who is a leadership expert, and then also Dr. Sandra Wall-Williams, who is also a leadership expert. And Hugh Ballou's company is Center Vision. Awesome concept. And I have the opportunity on October the 20th to do a leadership symposium, an all-day leadership symposium with the 2 of them. And that's sponsored by Center Vision. But Dr. Sandra Wall-Williams is going to be speaking. And then also, and she's owner of Vision Building Institute for Women. And then there's also Dr. Joe White.
Kim,
so I'm honored.
Okay, let me back you up before we get into those dates, because I want to touch bases on those dates again. But the first date you mentioned was the October the 20th.
Yes, Thursday.
And then I know there's another date on the 29th. So let's go back to Thursday the 20th.
Yes.
That date.
Okay.
And let's just talk about that.
Okay, so October the 20th, which is this Thursday, Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership is sponsoring a leadership symposium which, as I mentioned, we will have Dr. Sandra Wall-Williams, Hugh Ballou, and Dr. Jill
Now,
White
where would that be sponsored
as
at?
the speakers. It's the Junior League Center, the Community Center of Leadership on
711 Hillsborough Street.
yes, 711 Hillsborough Street. And actually, you can get all of the information as well at www.raleighleadership.com. You can register. You can get the breakdown of the program. And then you can also find information. I'm going to repeat that website, but you can also find information on Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership, either on Facebook, or you can go to TEL, which stands for Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership, RTP, so TELRTP.com. But to register for that event and get more information, again, is RaleighLeadership.com.
Will you be on that platform speaking?
I will not for October the 20th. That's going to be Dr. Joe White, Hugh Ballou, and Dr. Sandra Wall-Williams. And then Ryan Ray is the host of that event.
If I want to vendor at that event, how would I be able to get that? How would I be able to make that happen?
You can contact Ryan Ray, and he can be contacted at 910-890-1138. So that would be the best person to talk to about that.
Okay, so now I'm gonna move you on to Saturday, October the 29th.
Yes.
Ladies only empowerment tea.
Yes, sir.
Ladies only.
Ladies only.
How are the men being excluded from such an event? Ladies only empowerment tea.
Yes.
What's that all about? And from what I hear, that's about what, 5 or 6 women on that platform.
There are, yes. So we love the men. You know, we absolutely love the men.
We can't tell.
But
we ain't invited.
we are not inviting them to this event because we want to empower each other. And a lot of times, you know, women have a problem coming together, and it's not because of anything other than information, you know. And so that spirit of collaboration, I want to spread wide and broad. And so we're coming together to empower each other. So we love you guys, but we want to empower each other as women to understand the girl power that we possess together, how in friendship and in community, you know, we can go strong out here and create a powerful group of other young ladies. You know, there are ladies coming, you know, behind us, millennials and so forth and so on, who need to be empowered to know the beautiful leaders that they are, that their bodies are a temple, and so many other things that we're going to be discussing. Etiquette, how to sit up properly, how to dress accordingly for job interviews, just so many things that a lot of people just don't know. And so we're going to come together and empower one another. We have we have Cynthia White, First Lady Cynthia White, who is going to be our tea specialist and guide us through sitting up properly and drinking our tea. And yes, and Cynthia White is absolutely magnificent. I love her. She's a leadership and personal branding strategist. When you think demure in a woman, you think Cynthia White, like if you found that word in the dictionary. So absolutely love Cynthia White. And then we also have Dr. Gail Hayes, who's going to be our mistress of ceremonies. She is a published author, multiple books, over 30 books, I believe. She's done articles in the Huffington Post. You know, her handle is Handle Your Business Girl.
Right.
She has a background in law enforcement, and she's going to be able to tie the mission together because we're focusing on October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, to raise that awareness that, you know, so many women are suffering silently, and not a lot of times do you hear us really highlight that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So a lot of the proceeds are going to go to another person that is going to be there to represent her business, Charlie Carden of Fire Sisters Rising, LLC. That is a resource for women and victims. It can be of any sex that have been victims of domestic violence. And then we have a couple more speakers. Dina Bruton, who is a master stylist and image consultant extraordinaire. of Reveal Cosmetics, and then lastly of the adults we have no, I got all of the Michelle Jones Edelin, who is the excellence engineer. So if you're stuck, ladies, you're going to get unstuck after hearing this woman. Michelle Jones Edelin was actually the youth director that I was able to, at the church that I was raised in, and ran into her a year or so ago, and we've reconnected, and I was so blessed to be able to get her on this program. So the excellence engineer, Michelle Jones Edelin, is the final of the adults. And then we're going to have the young ladies, who are going to have 2 youth speakers to speak with them. The young ladies are also going to have a tea, and that's Devonia Reed. She is the queendom extraordinaire, visionary. And then we also have Gabrielle Christina, who has just turned 18 years old and authored her first book. Wow. And we're just so excited. So that's the tea. And so sorry guys, but as you can see, if you send your ladies there, they're gonna come back empowered, and you're gonna be happier when we're happy.
No, you want to hit it in the head.
I mean, she was that close. You were that close to say, we love you, man, but we know you need a few hours away from us.
No. You're probably going to be trying to beat down the door to get in there. I miss you. So that's that event. Thank you for allowing me to share.
And let me ask now, where did this name, the Billfold Boss Lady, come from? Would that be you, or the Billfold Boss Lady? Okay, so really quick, to register for the tea, you go to girlpowertea.eventbrite.com. So girl, GIRL, power, POWERTEA.eventbrite.com. Now, where is that going to be held?
That's going to be held at City Club Raleigh, which is downtown Raleigh on Fayetteville Street, 150 Fayetteville Street. It's the Wells Fargo building on the 28th floor. So we're going to have the most absolute beautiful view. I love City Club. They're just a great place to network as well as meet business professionals. And so that's where we're going to have it. And to answer your questions about the boss lady, Billfold boss lady. Exactly. So I am the stylist to your wallet. Basically, the billfold, everybody knows what a billfold is, right? It's a financial book that you carry, that, your money's in there. You have, some people keep a record of their finances, all of that. And so what I am able to provide is that structure, like I mentioned earlier, that structure financially, from the credit repair to the business structure financially to the even the diversification of your portfolio. All of those, the things that are going to take you to the next level, so that you can create financial security for the long term. So it starts now. What you want later has to begin now. So that's where that came from. You surprised me there.
The Billfold boss.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. So if I wanted to sit down with you to figure out to get financially fit,
yes,
you would take me through a series of financial steps, looking at what my credit first. Tell me how the process works. If someone come to you and want to become financially fit, how do you walk us through that process?
Okay, so there's a couple different angles, because some people do need credit repair first, like that's their dire need. So then what we'll do is figure out their goals. The first step is always, what is the goal? What is your, do you want to buy a home, or, what is that goal? What is that thing that is causing you to have angst to where you feel tight and like you can't breathe? So we discuss the goal first. If it's credit repair, we do a credit repair consultation. We pull your credit and we look at that and see, what are the steps that are necessary. And I work in conjunction with A+ Credit, Paul and Sandy Northup here in Raleigh, North Carolina, in order to get that information. And then what we like to do is, so that people don't make the same mistake and that we focus on that fitness, we take them through one-on-one coaching or put them through a masterclass where we go through the financial fitness program, and Financial Fitness Program is a program that has been able to eliminate millions of debt for individuals. Not millions of dollars, people that have been millions of dollars in debt, and just, lost their homes, different things like that, been able to take them out of what we call the financial matrix, which is, kind of the wool of finance, the world of finance pulled over your eyes. So you don't even know the truth. You're blinded from the truth. And so what we do is, create that opportunity for a person to get coaching, an individual or a company to get that coaching so that they can get to the next level. So it first starts with goals, and then we come up with a program in order to implement success there.
I'm running out of time, but I got so many questions I want to ask you. But I do want to ask you,
that's a good thing.
What do a package like that would cost? I mean, what would a basic package cost for becoming financially fit to sit down and talk with someone like yourself?
Well, actually, to sit down and discuss it, there's no price. We offer free consultations because we have such big hearts. My team, myself, we have big hearts, and we want to first see how we can help you. So that there's a free consultation with the credit repair. With the financial fitness, we do an introductory webinar or in person. We could do an introductory workshop or seminar, and that we charge nothing. Why? Because it's important to us to be able to help as many people as possible to get out of their financial distress. And so we know that we can do that. So that's free.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Kimberly Winborn.
Yes.
All right, listen, we're out of time, but I do want you, again, to go through the social media steps of getting in touch with you. But also, I want you to hit those points again at the venues that you're going to be at on the 20th, the 29th, and the
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Yeah, we can't forget that one. So
go.
I'm going to back up. I'm going to start with November the 3rd. So that is our Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership first annual conference. And that you can go to, like I said before, you can go to find out more information at telrtp.com. And so you'll see everything about Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership, all of our events, as well as that event. To get registered, you can register. It's an all-day event for $39. And I am actually a speaker on that event, which I'm super excited about, to partner with Hugh Ballou and Dr. Sandra Williams. So that is November 3rd, right at the Community Leadership Center, which you can get all of the information on the website. And then join us on Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership on Facebook, also TELRTP on Twitter. And so those will be the best. And we have a group as well as a page on Facebook. And then the next event from there is the tea that I talked about, October 29th. That's City Club Ladies Only Empowerment Tea. And we're going to have vendors out there, jewelry, clothes, so many things, health and wellness. We're going to have, different vendors out there. So come out. Skin care. I'm super excited to be able to partner with these ladies. So that's October the 29th. And that is going to be, once again, at City Club Raleigh. Raleigh, North Carolina, Wells Fargo Building, 28th floor, October 29th. Doors open at 10 a.m. And you can register at girlpowertea.com. And then, at Eventbrite. So girlpowertea.eventbrite.com. And then October the 20th, go to RaleighLeadership.com. That is our leadership symposium with Hugh Ballou and Dr. Sandra Williams, and then Dr. Joe White. And to find me, you can find me on Facebook at Kimberly Hines Winborn, and I can plug you into all of those things. You can also find my group, Visionary Networking Circle, at Visionary Networking Circle on Facebook or Instagram. And then there's also VNC, Raleigh NC, and that's through Twitter. So those are the ways that you can find me. My number is 919-271-0539.
All right, Kimberly, there's a lot going on with you, but that's all good.
I'm all about community.
Those are good things, and I think it's good for the community to have someone like yourself available to offer the financial fitness, also the networks that you're involved in, the collaborations, all right here in the community. So again, I want to thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully you'll have me as a vendor at those events.
That would be great.
And I appreciate you sharing the social media contact. Again, you're always welcome to the show. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And any of your crew or your collaborators
Yes.
are welcome also to come on the show.
Women.
Thank you.
Men and women.
Uh-oh. Well, thank you for having me. And just to make it all easy, just find me on Facebook at Kimberly Hines Winborn, and I'll plug you in to everything.
So I want to thank the audience for staying tuned in with us today. You know, we're back every Tuesday at 2. But in the meantime, I want you to live, love, laugh, have fun, enjoy. I'll see you next week.
You're tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, My Life, My Will with Gisela DiCarlo, The Tanya Love Show, Health Then with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Triangle Be Well with Howard Jacobson, Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Yisrael Cutler, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Current Affairs with Amnon Nissan. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.